I deeply feel that we are suffering more than we need to. I believe that there's a lot of people sick because we do not understand our biology and how the hormones work. And it's my mission to help spread education and just bring up things that we've always learned in school about what we know about the body so that we can heal and be free of the codependent relationship that we have with medications and seeking fulfillment outside of our bodies. We lack wholeness and energy within the body, and most of the issues that we have all result from insulin resistance, lack of mitochondrial functioning, and this essentially just accelerates the aging process in us faster, which is why diabetes type 3 is also known as dementia and Alzheimer's is becoming more prevalent at earlier and earlier ages within our human species. Our lifespan is regressing. We have more genetic disorders, more mitochondrial disorders we have never had before. I was talking to someone yesterday who is probably in their 40s, and she said her daughter had PCOS. I said, when you were my age, when you were in your 20s, did you know anyone with PCOS? Now all of these hormonal issues, cancers, hormonal imbalances, infertility, they are so prevalent. And it's like, I can't be the only one concerned about this. And so, I have this like huge passion within me to help other people come out of the darkness, which is a lack of knowledge of our own biology and physiology, our own understanding of the way our body produces light, which is through the mitochondria. And the brain is the most energetically consuming organ that we have in the body, and then you have these other major organ centers that a lot of people have issues with, especially in southern Louisiana: the liver, the kidneys, right? These major organ centers, they have more mitochondria, take up more energy functioning. And a lot of us are just starving at the energetic level. Our mitochondria are starving. We're starving for sunlight. We're starving for movement. And we just have too many things. We have too many habits. We have too many habits that we need to let go of. And I don't necessarily I don't look at things like, I need to quit this habit. Like, what I try to do is I try and put habits in that can help me shape out the whole biochemistry cascade for the day. So the reason I had up this brain picture is because I'm going back to talking about Alzheimer's and dementia, because I have a friend who's had a lot of trouble with her memory. And I've talked to a few people now who are fairly young, in their 40s, both in their 40s, struggling with memory, and being afraid of that, being afraid of what their bodies are doing, not knowing, and I can sense, we're always trying to look and find a single supplement to help memory, help this, help that, help that. It's like, go for your whole food, amino and fatty acid sources. Like, this is why I eat so many eggs. We just overcomplicate things. It's time to bring things back to simplicity so it is digestible is digestible and comprehensible. When I'm eating a egg, I'm getting all of my nutrients in one place, all the fatty acids, all the vitamins, minerals, choline, all these good things within the egg, right? Just keep it simple. We just overcomplicate things. So I'm talking about the cerebellum because the problem with the memory center, from what I've learned in Robert Sapolsky's books of talking about the nervous system, the stress response, is that when we are in an elevated stress response for an overextended period of time, we actually shut down the memory center, right? The memory center of the brain is just a conglomerate of a bunch of different types of cells. So, your energy, your memory can improve, or it can get worse, right? So, if you feel like your memory is not that great, you can build more neurons. It's called, so the memory center in the brain is called the hippocampus. So you can do this process called hippocampal genesis to create more neurons created, and that goes in the functioning of the memory center. A lot of this, so when I'm talking about this has to do with the cerebellum. The cerebellum has intimate communications with the amygdala, which is like that reactionary part of our brain, that cortisol part of our brain, that fight, flight, basic primal need, reptilian part. Cerebellum has tight communication with that area. It has tight communication with our memory center. So we usually learn when we are in a stressful situation, like if I touch that stove and it's hot, I remember that more because it was a very emotional, painful response that I physically felt. So our memory is tied together with our emotions and that part, the amygdala. And when that part, the amygdala, is overstimulated, we shut down the frontal cortex. This is logical reasoning. This is the ability to stop and think and plan out forward, to not be attached and identified with the emotions. The cerebellum has all of these connections. The cerebellum is like a little powerhouse. In Latin, the cerebellum is known as the little brain. So I always just think of the aging process. So as we age, the cerebellum is responsible for sensory connections, motor coordination, glucose disposal, glucose metabolism, muscle tone at rest. So as we grow older, we lose sensory perception, right? We lose our proprioception, our sense of ourselves in space. We lose our balance, right? We lose our smell, our sight, our hearing. We lose muscle tone at a very fast rate. So if I want to reverse the symptoms of aging, my memory center, right? If I'm trying to get if I'm trying to get more into my frontal cortex and less into this reactive place, I feel depressed, I feel anxious, I feel like I can't get out of my own mind. I'm gonna get into my body, I'm gonna get into my cerebellum, I'm gonna talk to Bella because she's always there, she's ready, she's listening, she's ready to go. She's ready to move. With every breath and step, she's ready to move. And exercise, so if you're having trouble with your memory, training your muscular system is one of the best ways to sharpen your mind, sharpen the communication within the brain. So I wanted to make this video, for my friend. And the cerebellum, it's beautiful. That's why I did my juggling videos before, because I find out that most of the cerebellum is gray matter, and we have both gray matter and white matter that goes throughout the brain, throughout the spinal cord, and through certain diseases, we will atrophy, certain parts, like Alzheimer's dementia, we atrophy white matter, but they go like yin and yang. And the gray matter is considered more of the motor movement, from what I've learned. I'm not a biochemist, I'm really passionate. I guess I should say that before I go any further. But the gray matter is related more to movement, and then the white matter is more to cognition. But obviously, if you're losing one, you're weakening the other. Just like if you're losing, you lose your mind when you go through Alzheimer's dementia. You lose your mind, you lose muscle in the body, and it's so fascinating. It's involved with insulin so intimately. Diabetes type 3. So what does this have to do with our immune function? Our immune function in the brain is what is, controlling all of this. Our immune function, is our ability to have energy. Like, it's like your immune function is like paying your employee time and a half. Like, you have this employee who's working so diligently for you. They're loyal, they show up on time, they have great guest reviews, they leave things spotless. And this employee is like starting to feel burnt out and fatigued. Maybe there are things within the business that are out of their control. It's too much, right? And so and you're asking them to work overtime, right? They're already burnt out, right? This is the body. Like, the body is inflammation. The immune system is that low-grade inflammation. And you're asking them to work overtime, right? We keep asking our immune systems to work overtime. And this is where our disease symptoms come in. We got to feed the immune system. feed the brain. You know, I tell people, like, my boss asked me the other day, are you on some sort of specific diet, you know? And I eat a lot because I'm like, this is for my brain, you know? Someone at work, how do you eat so much? I'm eating for my brain. Like, my happiness, my lightness, this light, it doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from the cell. It comes from the mitochondria. It comes from synthesizing and building hormones and proteins that are going to be conducive to energetic function, building the function of the cell, building the body, building the skin, right? You're building your happiness. You know, your happiness doesn't come from nowhere. Your contentment with life, your ability to see through the world of light instead of darkness, it doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from you feeding your family, your body, your little babies, all your cells. It comes from you loving up on yourself. It comes from you asking what you need to feed your immune system, your beautiful cells. They're your babies. They're your babies, and they're starving for your love. And they just want you to think good things about them. Like, it's like having a dog or having a baby around. They just like unconditionally love you. Your cells unconditionally love you. Been there, your immune system been there your whole life. I'm looking at the tiniest, cutest little lizard right outside my window right now. He is so small and petite and cute. He is gorgeous. And, you know, just like ourselves, they're small, petite, tiny, and they're gorgeous. And they deserve your love and attention. So make sure that you give it to them. And, yeah, I'll leave this here. I hope this is helpful for you in some way. If it is, you can like, share, and subscribe. I wish you the best of luck. If you're struggling with your mental health, depression does not like sunlight. Okay? Our biochemistry loves light. We would not be here without the sunlight. And it is such an important part of our diet to, you know, you can't just look at your food diet and say, oh, my diet is great. It's healthy. I'm healthy. Our sunlight exposure, our synchronization with the earth, light cycles, is imperative, especially right now where we've not had this much stress in the environment like ever. That's why a lot of people are having autoimmune symptoms and becoming allergic to things you've never been allergic to before. I've never been as sick as much before. We got to connect back with the light, back with our immune systems, back with nature. So anyway, I'll leave this here. I do wish you the best of luck as always. I'll catch you next time.